Gill, and today I'm going to talk to you about what's on my bookshelves and a few of my absolute favourite books. So I said I was going to talk to you about some of my favourite books, and you can see by the table in front of me that I've really narrowed it down to just the sort of, 50 or so. And I think the first thing to say is that I've got really Catholic, eclectic tastes in books. So I really like the old classics. I've got The Great Gatsby here and Orlando, but I also love contemporary fiction, and I've got absolutely no time for book snobbery. So I love literary fiction, but I also love commercial fiction. I don't really have a set genre that I like. So one moment I might choose a really fantastic thriller. These ones are both great. Another, I'll be turning to a rom-com. I also like historical fiction. I'm quite happy to read real life. And police procedural, chuck that in too. So really, as long as it's good, I don't mind what genre it's from. That said, obviously I have my favourite authors. We all have our favourite authors. The sort of people who, as soon as they write a book, you know that you're going to have it on pre-order and you're going to buy it straight away. And one of those authors for me is Anne Tyler. And somewhere here, oh, I've lost it. Okay, this stack here is my Anne Tyler collection. And in fact, I don't even think that's the full collection because I've lent quite a few of them out to people. But I think Anne Tyler is just superb, and she's very, very good at taking things which seem really small, but finding the universal truth in them and just making them really, really, really fantastic. So Anne Tyler would be the first of my authors that I always have to read. Next on that list is Curtis Sittenfeld. And Curtis Sittenfeld, when just before Eligible came out, I remember being quite nervous actually because I love Pride and Prejudice, and I thought that even though I really love her as an author, I didn't know how this reworking of Pride and Prejudice was going to work for me. But all I can say is it's absolutely superb, and if you haven't read it, I can't recommend it highly enough. So that's Curtis Sittenfeld. Another author that I love is Jonathan Tropper. And this one is called This Is Where I Leave You, and it is just wonderful. It'll make you laugh out loud a lot, but it's also got real depth to it too, and it's wonderful, and all his books are wonderful. Another author who I love is Elizabeth Strout. Again, like Anne Tyler, she's just got this way of taking really small, real life things and just making them beautiful and special and really finding the truth in them, and she's an incredible and inspirational writer. Someone else who I love is Nick Hornby. This is my Nick Hornby stack here. And actually, if you've read my book, The Neighbours, you might remember that two of the characters have an argument in it about which is the best Nick Hornby book. So I wouldn't want to come out and say which is the best Nick Hornby book, but I'm holding up About a Boy, so there's a clue for you as to what I might think on their argument. And then last but no means least, this book is called Standard Deviation, and it's by Catherine Heine. And it is just superb. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's a sort of really sharp, incisive portrait of a marriage, and the characters in it are so wonderful and so vivid that you remember them way, way, way after you stop reading. Right, I'm going to talk about some of the books that I use for work. But just before I do, a tiny diversion, which is I'm going to talk about my obsession, and I do mean obsession with notebooks. So I just have to show you a few of my favourites. So this one with the pigs on, my son's bought me for Christmas and I absolutely love. This one, which I think, sums up how all of us feel on some days. And this one, just because it's sparkly, and who doesn't love a sparkly notebook? Anyway, that's enough, because notebooks is a whole other video in themselves. When it comes to books on writing, so I've read about 1,000,001 books on writing, and some of them are really helpful, some of them not so much, but one of my absolute favourites is this one by Stephen King that is called On Writing. And I love this book because I find it very straightforward, very unpretentious, very demystifying, and just incredibly helpful. So if you're looking for a book on writing, then appropriately enough, I would recommend On Writing by Stephen King. Now, research. My new book, which is called We Are Family, is about the relationship between two sisters, Laura and Jess. And I did a lot of research for it into the sibling relationship, and particularly how that relationship changes as you grow up and you become adults. And this is one of my favourites. It's called The Sister Knot, and it's by Terry Apter, and it's really a fascinating read. And even if you weren't writing a book on the relationship between two sisters, and why would you be, I'd still recommend The Sister Knot as a really fascinating read.